I want to call this meeting of the Simpson County Fiscal Court to order. I'd ask you to join us in prayer, and then we'll have a pledge to the flag. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for the many blessings that we have of life, Father, but most of all, the blessing that we can have salvation through your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, we just ask you to lead and guide us during this meeting. God, we just pray that as we transact the business of the people of the community, that we would do the things that's right and pleasing in your sight. Lord, we just ask you to minister to those that are hurting with loss of loved ones, those that are dealing with health issues, and Lord, we just ask you to be with those that are in the first responders that take care of us day to day, Father. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so y'all see we're a little light today. The county attorney and the West Magistrate are both out of town today, but we'll do our best to transact business as we need to, gentlemen. The first order would be to approve the May 18th, 2026 special called meeting minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty.
Second.
Second by Scott. Any corrections or changes?
Clear my throat.
Okay, sorry. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. The next item, gentlemen, I think will require three separate motions. So we'll go through these. It's for the fiscal year 26-27 employee benefits. I think open enrollment, well, I think the meeting is next Monday, the 8th, and then I think open enrollment starts the following day for health insurance. But we've got to have these agreements signed and in place with the health provider, the secondary insurance, and the AirMed care. And all of these are right in line with what we had budgeted for the amounts for health insurance and all of that. But we've got to have these agreements signed and ready before everybody starts enrolling next week. So the first one would be, we need a motion and a second to approve the agreement for the employee health insurance.
So moved.
We got a motion and a motion by Scott.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. The second one would be to authorize the agreement and the county judge to sign it for the secondary insurance, the health reimbursement arrangement.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any question or discussion on that? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And the third part to the employee benefit agreements is the AirMed care. And we'd need a motion and a second to approve that agreement and authorize the judge to sign it.
So moved, Mason.
Got a motion by Myron and a second by Marty. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on, if y'all remember, we solicited bids for asphalt and crushed stone. We done a bid opening this past Friday. We received two bids. Excuse me, on the asphalt, one from Scotty's Contracting and the other from Cleary Construction. If you see there on the portal, I think every single line except for striping of roadways, Scotty's was the best bid we received. And I think, Bobby, it would be your recommendation that we would go with Scotty's bid on this. So I'd need Motion and a second to that effect if the court so chooses.
So moved.
I had a motion by Marty and a second by Myron to go with the Scotty's contracting bid for asphalt. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is to crush stone bids, and we received two bids, one from Heidelberg Materials, which is the old quarry out on 31W North, and the other from Drake's Creek Stone out off of 585. You'll see that most of the bid prices are pretty close. There's one or two. I think the dirty rock, Drake's Creek stone was a little cheaper. Other than that, Heidelberg was a little less. But the one big thing I want to point out to you is the number one riprap you see on the Heidelberg bid, it's just a slash. It's basically unavailable. And where Drake's Creek stone has that rock, and that's a rock that we do use from time to time, and maybe more often than I think. Bobby, you could speak to that. In talking with Bobby after getting the bids, I think it's his recommendation that we would just accept both of these bids so that they're able to pull rock from either place in the event that they go to the lowest bid and they don't have rock available, that we don't have to drive, wherever else to get the rock.
Can we do both bids?
I think we have in the past.
Okay. I thought we've always just accepted the bid, and then if it wasn't available, then we went to the other place, but I didn't know what.
I think we have, I think you can do both. I mean, the state does both.
Okay.
And of course, for the difference you're talking about, we have to give a little consideration to where we're working at.
Right.
It's worth a few cents not to have to drive across the county, so.
Yeah, because unlike the asphalt bid, there wasn't a great difference in rock prices here. And the big thing that sticks out is Heidelberg doesn't even carry the number one. I mean, I say they don't carry it. They didn't put a bid price down for it, so apparently they don't have it.
Part of the problem is they don't have the other products at times. We've had to go to other quarry just because it wasn't available up there, so.
Yeah. I remember we did that one year, when Dewey's had it, and then he didn't have the material, and then you couldn't get the bid price because you didn't accept the bid.
Yeah.
And then it cost you a lot more money.
Yeah.
So if we can do both bids, I'm fine with that. I didn't think we'd ever done accepted all bids.
I'm pretty sure we've done it one other time.
Okay.
We can do it, I know.
So if the court's inclined, I would need a motion to accept both bids on the crushed stone. Got a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Myron. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The next item, gentlemen, is a memorandum of understanding for jail dental services. We need a motion and a second to approve this agreement and authorize the county judge to sign it. Jailer, do you have anything to share on this?
It's basically your gas prices and everything else. They travel. We don't use them every single month. They probably average on about every other month, but I think we're paying $1,600 or $1,700 a month right now, and it's going to go up $100 a month. So you're not talking about a lot of money, but they do a good job and they take care of us.
So $1,700 a month.
I think that's what it is, $1,600 or $1,700 a month, and then it'll go up $100 a month.
Well, the agreement here says it's billed at a flat rate of $2,800 per treatment day.
Yeah, that's the reason I was asking.
Per treatment day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot more than $1,700 a month.
Well, I got my figures a while ago. I guess I got them wrong. I apologize. But it's going up $100 per visit. That's what it's going to be.
So
that's your treatment day, and they average about about every other month. Sometimes it's every third month, depending on if we got demand or got inmates that need treatment.
But the other part of this is this is an agreement that we're obligated to have.
Yes.
To have dental care for inmates in the jail.
It's either that or we have to drive them, we have to take a deputy, a vehicle, and drive them wherever they so choose. So, yeah, it's,
So maybe you was mistaken, probably $20 or $2,700 per
Okay.
treatment day, and now it's 28.
there you go.
Okay,
I apologize.
all right.
I
Unless
mean,
you're gonna pay the difference between the 1,700 a month and this.
I figure
So what is the number now?
What?
What is the number?
The
28.
agreement's $2,800 per
Okay.
treatment day.
Okay.
But they only come 2 to 3, every 2 or 3 months?
yes.
Okay. So it's not
Or
like
if we,
It's not a
or,
monthly expense.
or if we have an emergency that, and usually if we have an emergency, something like that, we will send them out instead of having them come down.
Okay,
So,
all right.
So they charge that, if it is an emergency, they charge that too?
I won't call them down if it's an
But
emergency.
I'm just
for
asking
one.
if that's what they would do.
Oh, yeah.
So move.
All right, so we got a motion by Marty to enter into this agreement and authorize the judge to sign it. I'd need a second.
Second.
Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And gentlemen, the next item of business is to approve the second reading and final passage of ordinance number 220.269. This is fiscal year 26-27 budget. There's been no changes or additions or amendments to it. DOG approved it as a good budget, and now it's up to us to pass it in second reading.
So moved.
Got a motion by Myron,
Second.
second by Marty. Any question or discussion?
I have discussion.
Okay.
When we did this budget, did we not budget for half of the new firefighter?
Yes, and I'm going to talk about that under my report a little bit.
Okay, I asked, when we did that, are we willing to pay the other half?
Yeah, that's,
So,
yeah, you are absolutely correct. We budgeted for it, and it appears that the city has not. So I was going to discuss what do we want to do when we get into my report? How do we want to handle this?
okay.
Or what do we want to do with it?
Well, I can wait till then.
Okay.
All right.
Any other question? Stacy, we'll do a roll call on the ordinance.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Judge Barnes.
Yes.
What about Scott?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Scott was. Sorry about that.
Scott, you don't get to vote on that one.
I didn't agree on something.
Well, that'll be all over the internet today.
Yeah, well. That's okay. Ain't that, it'll be something else.
That's right. All right, next, gentlemen, is to approve the budget transfers. We need a motion and a second to approve those transfers.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Scott. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next would be the bills and claims. We'd need a motion to approve the bills and claims as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by
Second.
Scott and a second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Moving to reports. I have a few items, gentlemen. We can start with where we were at on the firefighter thing. So yes, we did approve to cover half the cost of 3 new guys. The city has said currently that they have not plugged that into their budget to do so. Now, and the reason that we plugged it in was because I think we were all, at least I was, clearly under the understanding that if we got the agreement together with the ambulance service, they had said absolutely they would move forward. Now, I haven't been in their budget meeting, so I don't know what's happening there. So we have, in my opinion, we have three options. Option one is we just forego it and wait and see what happens next fiscal year. Option two is we take a look at whether we can afford to completely do it. Or option number three would be we maybe hold off and look at hiring three midway through this fiscal year, so we've got the money covered, the budget to cover that half of the year, knowing that when we go into the next fiscal year, we might be in a better shape, and maybe the city will at that point. There again, you're taking the risk of what may happen to us budget-wise and what they would decide to do. So, but that's the only three options we've got. We either try to figure out how to fund it and move forward. Because here's the thing, what we cannot do, or what I feel like we cannot do, we cannot pull money out of cash reserves to fund payroll for half a year, because you've got to have recurring revenue to cover recurring costs. And so I would feel pretty uncomfortable about doing that. Now, I do think, this is probably where Marty's going to go, so I don't want to take anything away from his conversation because he's brought this up. I don't know at what point the Kroger Distribution Center will be operational, but when they are, I don't think they're under any obligation to forego an occupational tax that I'm aware of, so we should be getting that money.
But there won't be a split with the industrial board either.
Yeah, because it's not in the industrial part.
So you'll be getting 100% of that occupation.
That would put us, so my point to that is, if we decided, look, we don't want to obligate to the entire fiscal year, but come, December, we wanted to advertise for the last half of this fiscal year because we budgeted to cover half of it, I think we will be in a better financial shape going forward, even into the next fiscal year, if the city says we're still not going to cover it. But then here again, it's whatever you guys want to do. And I don't know that we have to have a decision today unless your decision is we want to cover it regardless for the full year. Then we're going to probably have to grab the defibrillator out there in the hallway and shock the county treasurer back to life.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
You got it built in. Yeah, I don't think the county treasurer has one built in. We probably have to get the one off.
I'll grab her hand.
Well, it's obvious that we're not going to have any joint city-county meetings until after the new city commission and mayor is installed. Because the mayor's already said he would never meet with us. So there's no hope of working that out. I thought, Nelson, can you tell me, did the fire chief go to the city commission and did they give him any indication on that they were going to do this back early and then change their mind? I thought that's what the chief, he had got an indication from them they were going to do this. If we funded half of it, they were going to fund half of it, but then they changed their mind and decided not to.
Well, my understanding was that if we put the agreement together where the firefighters were responding with the ambulance service, that it was a foregone conclusion that they would.
Yes.
I thought that was just to get the third one.
Yes.
I thought that was just to get the last one.
So
I didn't know
they
what
still-
requirements they were going to put on this next one.
Are they still in their budget planning session? I mean,
I guess because I don't know that they have to go through the whole DLG back to like the county does.
okay, so they might be able to make that decision.
Maybe. But from all indications, it appears that they're not going to.
Well, I made a promise to the fire chief and to people I've talked to that I think, I would be in favor of funding that. So I don't know how we need to do it. We can do it, obviously. I'm in favor of funding that fourth firefighter.
I'm definitely in favor of it. I just hate for us to commit money that we don't have.
I would be in favor
I
down the
wouldn't be in
road.
favor of that. Now, down the road, I think, let's see what what they've done at the end of their budget, and then maybe we can plug it in that first year.
I would fully be in favor of let's do it for the second half of this fiscal year. Because I think we'll be in better shape into the next fiscal year, with or without the city.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have the money. We would have to pull some of it out of reserve, but not a total amount. But then, like I say, with that Kroger coming on, I just don't want nobody, I don't want people to think, well, we don't have any money. I mean, we do have the money to do it,
We're in
but,
pretty solid financial shape.
but I mean,
We won't stay
when
that
we
way.
start getting,
It's not a wise move to pull recurring employee expenses out of cash reserves unless you know you have recurring funding to cover that.
and we know we're gonna have the Kroger distribution, which would be more than that recurring expense.
It's
so.
a jointly funded thing, and
Well,
that's
kind
what,
of
that's,
yes and no. It's kind of a yes and no to that when you look at the agreement. There is nothing binding in the agreement that commits the city to covering half of anything. The only thing in the binding agreement is they cover a portion of where this whole deal started. And I think, Nicole, we've talked about this, that it's about 37% of the actual cost that they're recovering. Now, I've been very grateful. Huh?
And they have been covering, like, when we have these bigger expenses.
they,
like
half of that,
Yes,
right.
but here's the thing, just so y'all know, that agreement that we have, it does not obligate the city to cover 50% of the capital expenditures or the expansion of the personnel, which they have done, and very thankful that they have, and very appreciative that they have, because it would be tough to do otherwise.
It's just like us funding the entire jail except for one deputy,
Yeah.
you know.
What is the ratio right now, Mason, as far as the Rollins city or county?
That's
you know
a
what-
question mostly for Nelson, but I mean, here's the thing, I can tell you this, 100% of them are in Simpson County.
Well, that's true.
So, but how many of them are actually in the confined city limits of Franklin, I don't know. I would think, you know, let's be honest, most emergency response activity is inside the city limits of Franklin. And no one wants to hear me go through this whole political diatribe about how every citizen votes for the people that sit here, but all the citizens don't vote for the people that sit at City Hall. So we do have some obligation to help with everything we do. How many of the runs, roughly, if you had to roughly say a percentage, Nelson?
Probably 65% are in the city, 35% are in the county.
Well, let's say that different, outside the city.
Outside of the city limits.
Because 100% of them are in Simpson County.
I have a sheet that I just sent the city before they did their budget session. They had questions about that, so I sent it to them. I'll email it to you and you can disseminate it.
Yeah.
That has all that information.
Because going back to Marty's point, you know, we're fully obligated to fund the operation of the jail, and if we took however many local inmates are in there today, 70, I don't know the number. I hit it exactly? That's a heck of a good guess. Out of that 70, I would say that there's I would say that 60 of those 70 probably reside inside the city limits of Franklin.
But there's a KRS that says we've got to fund it.
That's right.
And
That's
this
right.
is not that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it hadn't been many years ago when the city didn't go all the way to the state line and all the way out past exit
True.
6 and all the way
That's true,
to
too.
almost the Warren County line. And, you know, it's probably, at least 25 to 30% more in the city than what there used to be just a few years ago,
gosh, yeah.
or maybe 50% more.
Gosh,
You know, this is not a city-county argument thing, but I just,
Yeah.
you know, but back to the fire department, I think we could fund it. I think we should fund it. And if, you know,
I don't disagree. I guess the question I have for you guys is, do you want to try to figure out how to fund it completely for the entire fiscal year, or do we want to wait and take a look at it in December to move forward for the second half of this current fiscal year, or this next fiscal year?
I'd rather wait till December.
Yep. At least December. And then we can look at, we'll know where they at anyway.
I mean,
It's a majority of the
it's
court.
majority, so I mean,
I just don't think we should wait 6 months. That's my opinion.
yeah. But I don't think there's any reason to put it to a vote.
No.
It's where it is, but I think we absolutely do need to stay on top of it because the community is growing, not shrinking.
Absolutely.
All right, another item of business that involves the fire department. Do y'all recall sometime back we had the discussion about the Safe Haven baby box, and that if they were short some revenue to cover that, which is expected to be around $20,000, that we would make an obligation to facilitate that. And I believe the city voted, because they own the building, to allow us to do that. Well, they're in the fundraising stage, and they've sent us an agreement to review and sign. I did not want to put it on this agenda because I knew Sam was out of town, and I wanted Sam to review that agreement before we entered into it, because, you know, like the health agreements, obviously it's the same thing we do every year. We've never done an agreement with the folks from Safe Haven, so I wanted him to review all of that. I feel fully committed to that. I think we voted to do that.
We did.
But I just wanted to get the temperature of the court that we're still good with that if legal counsel says, hey, the agreement's okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with it, yeah.
That's the only place they can put that?
Well, they've got to put it somewhere where there are people all the time. Plus, it's a triggered alarm. Like if someone opens this door and places a baby, not only does it send an alarm, and the firefighters that are on duty would on their phone would be alerted.
Well, I guess my question is, why don't they put these at the hospital?
I can't answer that.
Because if they're leaving a baby, the reason they want somebody there is because they're gonna need immediate medical attention.
Yeah.
So why, I mean, I hate to think we even live in a society where we're discussing this, but why would you not have that close to the hospital?
I just know that the majority of them are located at fire halls.
Yeah. Could you ask that question?
Yeah, we can find out. I mean, I could probably even get some people from, because the Simpson County Right to Life chapter is the one that's helping raise the money to get this one done. If we want to get someone here from that, or maybe even the state director, she might come.
And I don't see this as something that's going to be used a tremendous amount.
I
think they've had, they have three, do they have 3 of these in Bowling Green?
Marty, I don't.
That's what I've been told, and I think they've been used once or twice
Yeah.
in the last few years. So it's probably, this is something that may not get used it may be 5 years and hopefully never gets used.
Yeah. Well, you would hope it never gets used.
Yeah, so, but I just can't I can't grasp the concept of putting them at a fire department when they should be next to a hospital. That's the only question I have.
It sure beats the alternative of some of the things that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Where we see
I'd hate to think anybody that
that's unimaginable to me.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, we just had trash amnesty days, a little over 40 tons of waste. The guy out there at the convenience center sent me a message Saturday evening when they got done and said they had 165 loads Friday and 190 loads Saturday. So I think that was one of the biggest ones ever, really. I don't know that we've ever had over 350 loads brought, so that was pretty good for the community. I had a phone call last week from the developers with 10 Key Land Co.
Oh, great.
Yeah, to tell me that they have purchased over 100 acres of property on the north side of Steel Road and have 144 more acres under contract to purchase. And the reason for the call was to notify me that they want to immediately get it annexed into the city and get it rezoned.
And that takes it right out of our hands.
Yeah, so, you know, we've brought this topic up before, and obviously Sam's not here, but I just want to float this to you guys because I think we need to, we're going to have to deal with this some way. And I've said this before. I think when you go through these situations where land is outside the city limits and it gets purchased, there's hardly any way that we can stop or control consensual annexation, meaning the property owner has bought it and they want it annexed for whatever reason. Now, we can stop forceful annexation. We can, there's a way to fight that. But I think even in the consensual annexation where you have this amount of property that's being transformed in a matter of a second, that 1 second it was property outside the city limits, zoned agriculture, and the next second it's annexed into the city and being rezoned to some kind of commercial or industrial use. I would like to have an agreement, and I don't know if we can just do this on our own or if this is going to take cooperation with the city or how this would work, but I would like to have some kind of an agreement for a period of time, minimum of 6 months, maybe up to 18 months, that for anything that happens on that property, they're going to have to get the blessings of both bodies of government to move forward with the project.
I've been saying that also, like the area we did on Morgantown Road, which was supposed to be for One Row Electric.
Yeah.
They bought a spot and rezoned it to I-2.
Yep.
Nobody had a problem with that. But if now that then they sold it and now that, and then that property is automatically, whatever you can put on I-2, you can put on that property.
Yep.
So I think if a piece of property gets rezoned for laying that, in that situation for a co-op to put a building on and then they sell it, it reverts back to agriculture.
Yeah, there absolutely needs to be a reversion clause in the sale.
Or reverts back to whatever the original zoning was.
Yeah.
Because if you know, in that case, nobody really had a problem with the co-op building out there.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I've heard it's gonna be some storage buildings, it could be any, I'm not saying any of that's bad, but nobody knew about that. And so there needs to be a safeguard put in place so that a property can't be rezoned for one thing and then something totally different go in and that nobody knew, that nobody really wants or whatever.
And you need to talk? Oh, forgot about the mic.
Let me see if that's in that book.
But you don't have to repeat everything you said this whole meeting.
Do I need to go back through and re-say everything?
No.
Was it picking me up some? Enough to hear me? Yeah, Jessica tells me I'm pretty loud anyway. Sorry about that. But yes, absolutely some kind of reversion clause. I think some kind of, you know, and I don't want to put words in Sam's mouth, but we've had the conversation since the city decided to do their own planning and zoning, and we had no option but to form our own. Sam is somewhat of the opinion that every project could be subject to coming to both bodies, period. And that's more a matter of black and white statutory law, not just opinion of what Sam says. But the best case scenario would be to get something worked out to do this. And like Marty's talking about, the reversion clause is good. And I think we're going to have to do a pretty complete revamping of our planning and zoning regulations.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, we haven't done as good a job as we need to do, and when I say the boards and all of looking, it's hard to see what's coming in the future when you don't, you know.
Yeah.
10 years ago, nobody in this area, I don't think had ever heard about a data center, and then all of a sudden we got the one thrown in on top of us. So I don't know what's coming in the future, but we've got to get some kind of safeguard, so if something like that comes in, we at least have time to go, wait a minute, let's step back and look at this. And
Yep.
and they can't say, well, you didn't, we need to change it where if it doesn't say it in the regulation, that means it's okay. Because sometimes it doesn't say it in regulation because you don't know that it's happening or
Yeah.
going to happen.
And just think about this, how many of these cropped up in the matter of a few months at different places around the country?
Yeah.
Where all the local governments involved were like completely caught off guard. And I mean, not to be dragging this out anymore, but I mean, like the one that happened here, there was absolutely no discussion, no open discussion or knowledge of it until it was already pushed to a public hearing.
I mean,
Getting back to your comment, Marty, I mean, just up the road, a small, up at Cave City area, you know, they put a moratorium on for a year because they didn't have anything in their regulations.
Right.
So it gives them time to think about this and get it incorporated into their P and Z regulations.
And here's the thing, and here again, this is going to come out wrong, and there's going to be some people that'll be upset with me for what I'm about to say, but I believe what I'm going to say is true. Had this project here come to us first, I think that would have happened here, because I think this group would have said, oh, wait a minute, we're going to have to put some stuff together, and we're going to put this on hold a minute.
We wouldn't have said,
May not
y'all
have been
change
no
your text
moratorium,
amendments.
it may have been
Do
it
what?
may have been a more of a direct answer.
Yep. So, I mean, you know,
I mean,
there's
we
no
had
way
the
we can go
same
back
thing
on that now, but.
with the biodigester. You
Yeah.
know, we hadn't thought about and we had that biodigester issue come up, and we just put a more,
But anyway, I was just making y'all aware of that phone call, and I do want to kind of get the temperature of you guys on, do we want to pursue some revamping of our zoning regulations, and do we want to visit some kind of agreement on the use of land that gets annexed and rezoned, and do we want to look at some kind of reversion clause? Do we want to look at all those things?
yes. So that's 244 more acres they bought out there.
200 and what?
Did you say
44, yeah.
244 more acres?
Well, it would be, they've purchased right at 100 acres already, and they've got a
Yeah, option on
144 acre farm on option.
So when the comprehensive plan was done, and I had this conversation last week with 3 commissioners individually. To my knowledge, those 2 parcels of land that you're talking about, they were not hashtagged for future industrial development. I said, this is something you guys voted on. You voted on it. We didn't, but you guys voted on this. So I asked for consideration. I said, I want you guys to consider what you're doing. And
Did they say okay?
I got 2 I got 2 direct answers.
They said, okay, and then they're going to.
One of them, one of them was not very direct, but 2 I did. This was after you sent out, because I didn't. I know the Donnie Jones farm. I knew Donnie.
That's the one on option.
Yeah, and Donnie had passed away, and I knew his heirs were interested in selling that
Yeah,
farm.
that's a 144 acre
Yes.
farm that's on option right now.
Yes.
The other 100 acres are in about 4 different parcels. Has any of this been recorded yet that you're aware of?
I believe the Donnie Jones annexation's already been recorded.
Really?
Really?
Saw something come through,
My.
what's it called,
And I bought,
it's like in a family trust or some kind of something that came through for an annexation on Steel Road.
Wow.
and I don't blame any of them out there for selling their land, if they're getting the price they're asking.
Yep.
Because none of them are selling the land were farming anyway. They were renting it out or whatever. So, or there might have been one or so, but you know, most of these people that when they pass on
All
or
this land
retire,
on the
they-
side of the road.
All the land that the gentleman was telling me about last week when he called is all on the north side of Steel Road.
Opposite side. of
Opposite
what they
side.
got right now.
Yep. All right, Gas tax information. We are being bombarded to,
Got that email?
yeah, we are being bombarded for all the county judges and mayors across the state. Y'all are aware that like any time the governor now enacts an emergency order, it's a 30-day order, and to extend it beyond 30 days, he has to get, either approval from the legislature. I think it's and/or, the majority consent of, judges and mayors or whatever. So they're pleading with us to send letters of support for the gas tax freeze. And so we got this information, and I don't know if y'all seen this, but I just want to share this with you for a minute. The governor put the freeze on the gas tax on May the 11th, and it would expire on June the 10th. And they're pleading with us to get these letters in by June the 5th so they can do some extension on this. It's decreased the motor fuel tax by 10 cents per gallon for the 30-day period, and the state is set in that 30 days to lose approximately $26.5 million for that month. That's a 38% reduction in motor fuel tax revenue, and you get to that every dollar collected in motor fuel tax, 48.2% of it is revenue shared with local governments, and the remaining 51.7 goes into the road fund for projects and the transportation cabinet operating budget. And so you're talking about $26.5 million just in 30 days, so roughly 50% of that's, it's just shy of 50%, so roughly $13 million that's going to be missing out of what's approved to local governments. Now, I understand there's 120 counties and several cities. I don't know how that breaks down to how much we lose in Simpson County.
Apparently it's about $200,000 for our county.
Yeah, but the reality is, I have not sent a letter of support for it, because here's the other thing. At the current rate of gas, with the average mileage of the average driver, this is $1.25 per week savings. Plus, in Kentucky, I-65, I-75, I-24, I-64, all these major interstates that go through, the people that travel through here that do not live in Kentucky, that are stopping and fueling up and paying, we're not getting any of that.
Well,
and people say, well, you're just tax hungry. Well, here's the thing. We've got some options when they've already cut us $200,000. Now, if they come back and say, well, this freeze on the gas tax has pulled, 26 million, or if enough people send in this letter and they go another month, now it's 52 million. And so we're like, well, guess what? We're going to have to cut you another $50,000 this year.
Yeah, that's where it come from.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it come from.
The one
Sounds
email-
good, but that's where it come from.
Yeah.
The reduction in road funds.
And that's money that we count on
Yes.
to turn over to the road department,
Yeah.
so that our roads don't look like 585 does right now.
Well, the one email I got said $31 million a month.
Yeah, well, this is what the Judges Association sent out yesterday.
Well,
Got
what
this
people don't
yesterday.
realize is they cut the 10 cents, and the gas companies and all companies know they cut it, and so they raised the 10 cents. The consumer don't save 10 cents.
Yeah,
The gas is as high or higher now than it was when they did that freeze. So, the corporations watch that. When they see that they've cut 10 cents a gallon out, they just raise the price another 10 cents. They keep it.
so I'm just
doesn't
bringing
help
all
the
that up
consumer.
to say a couple of things. One, I'm not inclined to send a letter of support.
I'd ask you not to respond.
Do what?
I'd ask you not to
Yeah,
respond.
well, that's all well and good, because I'm not inclined to do that, because it's going to hurt our budgets, what it's going to do in the long run. And then, here's how this works too. This $26.5 million that the state would lose in 30 days, they're going to cut all of that from local. They're going to hang on to everything. It's going to be local cuts that's going to come. They're not going to cut it. They're going to cut it minimally on the state side and more massively on the local side, because they're the ones in control of the dollars.
Have you talked to Barry at the State Barn?
Mm-mm.
They're losing 4 employees out there, and the state's told them they're not gonna replace them.
Wow.
They got 4 that's going for retirement, and all this. They've got their time in, and he said the state had already told them they wasn't gonna replace them.
I mean, like I said, we've already been cut $200,000. I don't see that another cut, I mean,
It's like the jail. They just push it
they just push it
on the
out.
counties, and the state not taking care of what they're doing. So,
And I've been saying this since I started as judge, that it's going to be coming, that if we're depending on the state and the road and the fuel tax and the road fund to do all the things that we've been doing, we're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do with funding to
Right.
catch it up? What do we
Well-
do? Because we can't impose a gas tax. Like, we can't put on like a 1/2 cent local gas tax.
We could, but they wouldn't frown on it.
Yeah, we will probably get in trouble for it. I don't think.
We'd all have to stand out by the
Yeah.
gas pump collection.
Anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know about that. Another thing is, if you haven't been aware of this, House Bill 189, I believe, becomes law July 15th. It's a panhandling law that makes people get out of the state right-of-ways and pedestrian walkways. And so, we've had this conversation around town. Of course, obviously, 100, 31W are state highways, College and Kentucky are city roads, but the walkway around the courthouse is pedestrian right-of-ways and so forth. And so we've always been told, or what we were told, if y'all recall when we discussed this some time back, was it's a First Amendment right that blah, 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 blah. Well, what the legislature in Kentucky has determined is that you may have a First Amendment right to do it, but you do not have the right to obstruct the safety of motorists and pedestrians. And so my question to you guys is, since this is now law, do we want to look at something like that for county roadways
Absolutely.
and pedestrian right-of-ways?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Sam's going to be glad to come back off vacation, because I'm going to load him up.
That means you shouldn't have went on vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should. I really feel like we should. Mr. County Clerk, are you going to have a report at all? Are you going to talk about filing deadlines today? All right, so just for those that are if you're in wonderment over this, or thinking that you might want to file for one of the nonpartisan offices like city commission or school board, I think the deadline to file is 4 p.m. today, correct? All right. And then real quick, obviously we have an opening in planning and zoning. We've advertised. We've had really good response. We've gotten like 19 applications. We've sent out to 6 of those to do interviews. We'll be conducting those interviews Thursday, at least for 3 of them. Of the 6 we sent, 2 have said they've already taken other jobs, so now we're down to the interview of 4. We got 3 of them coming Thursday. We'll see how all that goes. And the reality may be that, depending on timing and everything else, I may need to call a special called meeting if we need to act on something so that we can get this moving.
If we can do it first thing in the morning, it'd be best.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever day, but if
Yeah.
it can be first thing in the morning.
Time-wise, early in the morning's fine with me. All right. I think I'm done.
Does Amy need to?
Amy, did you need to speak to us?
Did you get my email about getting a new board member placing our board member who had stepped off?
Yes, I did, but I don't have it on here. And that was, we can do it though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
That's right. When was his term expired?
March 17th.
Uh-huh.
March 17th of next year.
Okay.
Of next year?
3/17/26.
27. He would expire.
Oh, 27.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get who?
We have requested Brenda Moore.
That's right. Yes, I'm sorry.
To finish out his
All
unexpired
right.
term.
I apologize for that. Thank you for coming and reminding. All right, so yes, Amy has sent me an email. Mr. Lynn Caudle has decided that he needs to step away from serving on that board. As you heard Amy say, his current term runs through March 17th of 2027. So what we would need is a motion and a second. Her recommendation was to appoint Ms. Brenda Moore to fill the unexpired term of Lynn Caudle through March 17th of 2027.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Scott. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Amy, I apologize. I'm glad you popped over here and said, hey, wait a minute. Thank you very much. Myron, you have anything?
No report.
Scott?
No, the only thing is, I'm sure most everybody knows now that they're resurfacing 31 North.
Yep.
So just be cautious in the afternoons is when they're doing most of their
They've been
work.
up there for a while at Woodburn too, working on that new,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
on Joe's roundabout.
yeah. That's all I've got.
Marty?
Yeah, we can ask Sam about one other thing. You know, of course, this was election year, but people started putting out election signs in like January, and they were out for 5 months. I'd like to look at some kind of ordinance at 30, maybe 45 days at the most. I mean, we was talking about this the other day at the industrial board meeting. Signs effective is like 15 days. After 15 days, people just drive on by them, don't even pay any attention. So I would like to do some kind of ordinance. No, it doesn't say you can't have a sign. It just says, you know, we give a certain amount of time before an election before they can be put up. That way you're not sitting there. We've had some of these signs that were put in the right of ways, and you know, on some of the roads it made it hard to see to get out of the roads. It was a, you know, visual thing. You don't want to mess with anybody's sign. But I think we should look at some kind of sign ordinance for campaign signs, and you know, say in this you can put them up as long as they're not 30 days before an election. I
think
don't
the
see
city
I don't
already
see a
has
bit of
that.
problem with that.
I don't know.
I think so, but
What is it?
I think the city already has that. And I don't know if
I
it's
don't
60
know.
days or what, but
I don't know.
But I have heard at conferences that other counties do have that,
Yep.
like 30 days, which
30 days would be fine with me.
I'd
Yeah.
be fine with me too.
Yeah. I have no problem with
If you
that.
if you run in a campaign, you understand it's easier to when you don't have to have them out. You know, you don't have
And I
don't
believe
spend as much time putting them out.
I believe the city of Russellville requires you to get sign permits to put them out inside the city at so many cents per sign.
Yeah. So I think when you put it on his list of things, but I would like to look at
We
it.
can do that in the county, take care of some of this $200,000 we lost. Give it to Bobby.
Well, when I talked to Barry at the State Department, when they came out and started the mowing, the state told them not to touch any of the campaign signs. So they only mowed a little strip on the side of the state roads because they did not go all the way back to where the right of way was at because of the signs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think we should have there's reasons why we need to do this, and I hope Sam can figure out something on that. The other thing is, this is second day of June, and weed harvest will probably start this week. So there will be equipment on the roads, people be safe, nobody wants to get hurt. And that's all I have.
Very true. Thank you. Sheriff, you have anything?
Just a quick comment, the baby boxes that Marty brought up, the law specifies either fire department, police department, or hospital. They have to be manned 24 hours a day, so police departments will be out, even though we have people out, they're not manned as a department, the fire department's probably going to spot. Unless the medical center wanted to put one in, but that's a private. Just for
Okay.
the sake of the law.
Mr. County Clerk, you said you didn't have anything? Jailer?
Our,
You pointed at me, I'm pointing back at you.
well, I talked to you outside. I just wanted to give you a heads up. We are probably going to be purchasing another transport vehicle. We will be doing it out of the commissary from Warren County. It's one of their surplus. It's actually the jailer's vehicle. It's got the cage and lights and everything in it. So, just for insurance purposes, we'll be transferring that over. So,
What about your AC unit you was talking about went out? Did you replace it?
yes, well, which one?
I don't know.
They're all breaking down.
At the last meeting, you said that you had AC went out.
Well, we've had several. One went out, a month ago. We replaced it. We've got another one that went out. That's the one, we're working on getting it replaced.
Because you were talking about
Yes.
using the technology grant money to
Yeah,
purchase it? Okay.
so, anyway, we're trying. Y'all forgive me, I don't feel real good, so.
I understand.
But,
So you have more than those two? You say which one, and you talk like you have a bunch. You have more than those two AC units?
everything is breaking down in that jail. Nelson and I were just talking, our motherboard in the
Control room?
it glitched on us last week. Nelson come over and worked on it. We had some guys from, was it Indiana? Is that where they were from? Indiana, I think is where they were from. They came down, they worked on it. It was working fine. Sunday, I had a deputy come in at 3 o'clock to stay with it to keep having to manual unlock doors. So while the guy from Indiana heads back down here, he gets here and it starts working again. So I don't know we can't figure out what's going on, but we're having some issues right now.
Didn't you replace that not too long ago?
We sure did.
I thought so.
Yep. It was a.
No warranty?
I think it's out now.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
typical.
So anyway, we're trying to maintain, get everything rolling the way it's supposed to, and keeping it all balanced.
But as far as your AC units, those two units is on it.
Yes.
Because when it starts getting
Oh
hotter.
yeah. Oh, trust me.
Okay.
We try to prepare for this.
All right.
And right now we're kind of in a good spot to where we can shift inmates around. If one does drop, we can shift them around to keep them, in compliance.
Well, as low as your numbers are, you ought to have plenty of room.
Easier said than done. That's all I got.
All right, so thank you. Paul, anything with maintenance?
So with the code enforcement stuff, got a property that the code enforcement board, and they're finding the facts, said after June 1st, if it wasn't cleaned up, county go in and clean it up. It's not cleaned up. So this is new to me, but I'm asking I guess I need your all's recommendation. What do we do next? I mean,
Clean it up.
Go in and clean it up?
The ones we did at Gold City, John was doing it at that time. He got, if there's any abandoned vehicles, of course, that property was left abandoned, so.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a different situation here because that property was abandoned property. No one was living on it or staying on it. This is a situation where these people started this structure, they stopped it, it stayed up in a bare frame situation for quite a while till the weather deteriorated it and it collapsed in on itself. And they're living out there
In a camper,
in a camper.
which I thought there was an ordinance saying you couldn't live in a
And
camper.
Sam says, yes, that's true too. But when the code enforcement board, after we go through the steps and channels that we have to go through to issue the citations and so on and so forth, at a certain point, the code enforcement board will say, okay, you've done all of these steps. Now it's time to get this cleaned up. And then we've got to determine what do we want to do to clean it up, because like out there on that abandoned property, we just had the public works crew, when they had a minute to do it, we got dumpsters and track hoe and done it. we can either do that, I'm not sure Bobby's jumping up and down to go do that, or we could contract with someone to get it down.
How do you force somebody off their property that's living there?
What'll happen is even if we get it down through our works, there's gonna be a value put on that a lien will be placed on that property.
No, I don't understand that.
Well, it's through foreclosure. I mean, once you place that lien for a period of time, you can do a foreclosure.
I know, but you can't go out there and, if they're living in their camper and they're not supposed to be living there, you're gonna have to evict them off the property.
I don't,
I mean,
yeah,
how does that
what, the
work?
code enforcement board doesn't deal with that. All they're saying is that the property maintenance violation
Right.
is now authorized to be cleaned up.
And they got a letter from our county attorney, legal notice or whatever.
I'm sure that code enforcement board has something that they've sent, or.
Yes, the board has sent them this finding of facts that as of June 1st, if it's not cleaned up, the county has to come in and do it.
And I don't know, Myron, the answer to this is, I know the city attorney was also the attorney to the code enforcement board, but, you know, at the end of May, he ended. But I mean, this all happened before the end of May.
Correct. This happened,
So he was still
yes.
involved with that. I don't know if the new city attorney will also be advisory to the code enforcement board, but at the time this happened, there was legal representation on that code enforcement board that pushed all this.
So we'll have a mechanism, or we will have a mechanism to recoup our costs,
Only through a lien and foreclosure.
because we don't want to get in a situation where the county's cleaned up people's property for no charge.
Yep.
Well,
There's a,
this is different. I mean, this has happened. We've cleaned up, how many properties? Just 2 or 3 that we've cleaned up. But nobody has been a resident on the property. That's what I'm asking on this.
So there's somebody living in a,
There is somebody living on the property.
In a trailer, a camper.
But there's an ordinance saying they're not supposed to be living in a camper, that you can't live in a
Yeah.
camper. I wouldn't want to, I'd rather, if we was gonna do that, I'd rather bid this one out. Just ask,
Yeah, I don't really want to send our guys
I
out
don't
there.
either. Because the sheriff's probably gonna have to get involved with this.
He looks happy about it. He was smiling.
Wouldn't you think so?
yeah, they definitely would need to be involved in this one.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you go out there, you start taking somebody.
Because you're right about one thing. As soon as somebody shows up with a track hole and a dumpster, the people living in the camper are going to be out there, what are y'all doing?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and then if there, things can go sideways in a quick fashion in a hurry in a situation like that.
We don't mind going out anytime somebody needs somebody to be with them for safety. Until the property becomes the county's, you can't evict somebody off of it.
Yeah.
So whatever you would have to do to get
Yeah,
that.
well, we're not talking about trying to evict them. We're
No,
just
no,
talking
I
about
got
if we send a crew out there to clean up the violation,
Right.
and they're residing in their camper out there, and they're throwing a fit because what are you doing, piling my stuff in a dumpster, and it just gets a little sideways.
If the county attorney said we could be on the property with that place and you guys wanted to fund the deputy being out there, because there's a cost to everything. It's not, you have to give us additional money, but,
Oh, come on, Sheriff, do us out of the goodness of your heart one time.
well, the deputy's gonna get paid one way or another.
And Paul, you have the order from the code enforcement board.
Yes.
But if the workers called and said they were getting harassed or something was taking place, we would respond to it, so we could keep
Okay.
somebody in the area. I'm just talking about sitting there for 2 days while they do it, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Did the city attorney, who signed that order from the code enforcement board?
Yes, that was, the board, but the city attorney is the one who made the finding of facts. And
So that's issued by the attorney.
Yes, I mean, there's a copy of it if y'all want to see it now.
Well, I can tell you, I know
The
what
code
the
board
property's
is the
at.
one that signed off on it.
It needs to be cleaned up. It's pitiful.
But I'm with you. I think if we're going to clean it up, this might be one where we might want to bid it out.
I would be more
Because I don't want anybody to be harassed or get hurt, but I really don't want to put our employees in that kind of position.
No.
Unless, Bobby, you just want to go clean it up.
Would you be okay with us bidding it out?
I mean, so Marty's saying let's bid it, what do you guys think? 'Cause I mean, it's gonna be.
Bid it out.
Huh?
Bid it out.
Yeah. All right.
Make sure we got a lien.
Oh,
Well,
we'll
you
have to
can't-
put a lien on it as soon as.
Yeah.
You can't do the lien until after you do the,
You gotta do the work first and then get the lien.
But there's two ordinance violations, right? If they're living in that,
Well,
It is.
the only one the code enforcement board's dealing with is the property maintenance violation.
Correct.
The other ordinance would be through the county attorney would have to deal with straightly with that one.
So if we get a bid, we're gonna know what the price is before we hit the property, so the
No, you
property
gotta-
owners they'll be able to know what the price is,
oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's been going on for
3 years.
coming on 3 years now. I mean, there's thousands of dollars worth of fines if they're imposed from the citation. I mean, it's not nothing getting done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, thank you, Paul. My question would be, I guess, if we want to put this to bid, I mean, from this meeting, if we authorize that to go to bid, we've got to notice it in the newspaper. It won't be in the newspaper before the 11th. I don't hardly, and I mean, I think from that notification in the newspaper, I think we need at least a 2-week turnaround to get bids back. So that puts us at like Friday, the 26th, to get bids back
Of July,
of June.
of June? Okay. It's been there, going on 3 years, another.
Another 2 or 3
The 3
weeks
weeks
isn't
ain't
gonna
gonna
hurt,
happen.
I guess. So what we would need, gentlemen, I guess, if we're gonna pursue this, would be a motion and a second to authorize, putting to bid the cleanup on, what's the address, Paul?
Paul,
What's the address?
98 Bunch Road.
98 Bunch Road. So we need a motion and a second
So
to
moved.
authorize the cleanup on 98 Bunch Road
Second.
and advertise it to bid. Y'all are motioning in a second. I can't even get the motion out to what we're doing. And we'll have the bids to be received back here by 10 a.m. on Friday, June 26th. Y'all are both good with your
Yeah.
motion, Marty, and your
Good.
second?
Good.
All right, so we got a motion by Marty, a second by Scott. All in favor, or any more questions? All in favor, aye. Thank you much. Bob, anything with emergency management? Everybody's got reports today.
Just a couple of things. First thing is, I just want everybody to know the outdoor warning siren at exit 2 is inoperable. I've got to call into the technician from Indiana to get on the schedule as soon as possible to come down. It's got a direct short of some sort, popping the breakers, so.
This would be a good time to remind the public too, that an outdoor warning siren is for you to hear if you are outdoors.
Correct. These are not intended to be heard inside.
I mean, they will if you live really close,
Yeah.
but if you're a mile away,
if you have a weather radio, is it connect, I mean, does it run with the outdoor warning sirens?
The weather radio will actually alert a little bit faster than the sirens, because the alert, we get the same alert from that the weather radio gets, and then we set them off. So I highly encourage people to get a weather radio to have in their home.
I didn't know if there was something so that, like you say, you can't hear them inside your house, but if there's something that connects to the outdoor, when you flip them on, that would, automatically notify people even if they're inside their house.
Yeah, there isn't anything that broadcasts from the siren that would do that, but they will, if you've got a weather radio, it will receive the same signal, the same alert tone from the
Well,
National
they give
Weather
them away
Service.
sometimes, don't they?
I give one away every once in a while.
and can you
actually
not get
looking
a weather radio app on your phone now?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
I mean, so you could get all kind of
There's been a few
notifications.
counties in the state that have got federal grants to hand out weather radios to every occupied structure in the county. And I'm looking in to try to get that grant too, so.
Okay.
But I just want everybody to know that that one there is down for good, for sure right now. The rest of them are up and running until the next time we set them off and it blows a fuse and all that stuff. Many of these things are over 2000, I mean, they were bought in like 2004. So they're getting some age on them, so.
I thought you was about to say they're over 2,000 years old.
I thought, he would about say that.
Yeah.
Myron wouldn't even remember that.
I got things tangled up a little bit there. The message boards that we put on order a couple months ago, I got a notice late yesterday afternoon. Those were delivered to Goodlettsville. Paul and I may, if we get our schedules together, we may go pick those up Thursday. If we don't go pick them up Thursday, they'll deliver them up here next week. But by the beginning of the following week, they should be available to be deployed out by the sheriff or Bobby or whoever. So
very good.
Those are coming on. And the last thing I want to talk about, you guys hear me talk about the CERT team all the time. They met last night. I wasn't able to attend their meeting, but they gave me the agenda, and they did a rundown of the contribution, the volunteer contribution. In calendar year 25, the team donated 1,087 hours of support to the community. And if you put the FEMA hourly rate to that, that's about $27,000 worth of free volunteer hours that the CERT team gave us last year. So.
How many members do we have on the CERT team right now?
I think there's 24 right now. About 13 that are pretty active, and that's, you hear me talk about it, I do the class twice a year. Coming up pretty soon in July is the Train the Trainer class to get more instructors that you've been hearing about through the Brad, I'm sure. So anybody that's interested in that kind of stuff, get a hold of me, because we're always open to get more people to come in.
Very good.
I use them exclusively for my first operational period staffing at the Emergency Operations Center during storms. So,
thank you very much. Nelson, anything with the fire department? Man, everybody does have a report.
Bobby's got a report too.
I know Bobby's got one. I ain't leaving you out.
So real quick, one thing is, we're talking about adding a fourth firefighter, and I hear it thrown around a lot, that'll put us at full staff, which is not correct. 4 gets us to the minimum that we requested, 3 or 4 years ago. If we were at full staff, it would look somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 firefighters per shift. So I know, and some of the counterparts have said, well, if you're at full staffing, why do you still need volunteers to make calls and cover? Because 4 doesn't put us there. It only gets us to the minimum we need. If you'll remember, we originally asked for 5, because that's the good minimum, but the bare bones would have been 4, and we started with 2. So good improvement, but we've got to keep it rolling. People think they hear that 4, you'll be fully staffed. You can't do a whole lot with 4 people. Similar size cities are running 13 to 16. That's pretty much what NFPA, kind of a good number for our size. But just thought I'd throw that. Do what?
It's the first I've ever heard of that.
But we still have a good pool of volunteers.
We have volunteers. We're working on hiring more, because at the size that we are, it will take a long time before we can get to fully staffed of 13, if we could ever get there, and I think we can. But we're gonna have to have volunteers to help respond to the big events. Not everyday things, but the big events can't be handled by just 4 people. So we're still actively looking for volunteers. We've got a couple in training now. So it's going to be a partnership between the volunteers and the full-time to make it happen. The numbers, I found them last year, and I sent these out. You should have them in your email. Last year, a full year, we had 774 runs, 64.86 in the city, and 33.46 outside. And in December, we started running medical runs. We did 65 runs just in December for medical. This year so far, and the exact number I believe should be about 531. The report I did was through August, or through April. I mean,
You're talking about 531 medical runs?
No, total runs this year.
Okay.
I don't know the total for that, how many exactly or where, but when I did the report in April, we were at 68% in the city and 30% outside, with 219 medical runs.
And to clarify for the public, when you say medical runs, you're talking about assisting with the ambulance service. It's not just that
being
the fire
their
department is making medical runs alone.
We only have one full-time person that even could, and we have no medical director, so we do not do ambulance runs, we just assist them. So that was our numbers. I gave you the full rundown since we merged. You can see the trend. It is flipped, because it started out that most of our runs were in the county. Now it's the other way around. Most of them are inside.
Annexation.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why.
It's because the city's gotten exponentially larger. The last thing, we talking about the baby box, keep in mind, yes, we have people there around the clock, but we're not always there. There are times when it's empty just like everywhere else. So that may be an issue, because we don't have somebody that can sit there 24/7 and be there like the hospital or somebody would.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be good to get those folks here to explain how the alarm system works, how this all is put together.
So, but I guess that's all I have unless y'all have any questions. Thank you.
Bobby, you're up.
Here you go.
He's gonna let you win first, you're anxious.
I hate to prolong it, but I got several things we've talked about. First of all, I was wanting to get your all's okay to do a salt auction, advertise a salt auction. If you know, in the last several years, we've always done the CAECO reverse auction, and they're not doing that this year. So I've talked to CAECO, and there's a couple options. One, we can get on possibly the state's bid contract, but they're in the process of doing that right now, so we don't know what that is. Their recommendation is they provide all the contact information, is for us to actually do our own bid, just like the rock or the asphalt. So we can do that. Of course, we don't, by then, maybe we can find out what the state's pricing would be. We don't have to follow through, but we can get the bids to have them, so.
I like that reverse auction, I thought that was pretty slick.
They said they found that they thought actually you could get better pricing on your own, but now, I don't
If we
know.
put this out to bid, Bobby, would it be good if as long as we have the bids back by the end of July?
Yeah, I think we got plenty of time, so. And I called about the district office, about the state, that's where I found out they're going through the state process, so they really couldn't give me a price either, so. That very well could be an option though, because that wouldn't obligate us to buy anything. Or if we do our own, we're going to have to word it where we'll have a minimum and a maximum probably, but we can deal with that.
So we could do this at the next court meeting, as far as bidding it out.
Well, I mean, I would say.
If we want to get into the bid, we would just need a motion and a second to authorize putting out bids for road salt to be received back to the courthouse by 10 a.m. July 31st. That's the last
We have
Friday.
plenty of time to do it.
Okay.
I just thought we need to get it in motion if we're going to do it.
Put it on the agenda for the next court meeting, I guess.
It
That
don't
way he can
matter.
get us those names. Because he said he'd send it out to.
No, if we authorize it to bid, then he can just
Yeah,
send it to
I'm
those
just- I'm just
people.
asking, let's authorize it to bid now,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll set our bid date.
So moved.
at That, and we'll have it
All
done.
right, so we got a motion by Marty to authorize advertising for road salt bids to be due back by 10 a.m. July 31st.
Second.
Second by Scott. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Second thing, I think you have the information from Scotty's on chip seal pricing.
Yeah.
If you all remember last year sometime, it was brought up about some of our gravel roads, which we don't have many, but Stone and Peart specifically because of the Amish that have the vegetable markets on them and the dust that they have. I looked into a dust retardant, kind of iffy and kind of pricey and a lot of maintenance. You're probably talking about even just a quarter of a mile section or more, maybe a half a mile section, I guess we'll get out of it, having to do it twice a year and maintain, you could be up to $12,000, $15,000 for that process.
Per time?
No,
or-
for the year.
For the
if
year.
you have to do it. Scotty's suggested, I asked them about some chip seal, which we don't do, but they said that's Allen County, Barron County are doing a lot of that in their Amish communities. And they think it's as good, if not maybe even better, holds up better than asphalt in places. I think they gave you some quotes, or his quote on for per mile, and you're talking about a mile, or actually you're talking about 3 miles on those two roads. So it's about $108,000, the way I figured it. Of course, that's in the West District. So I don't know, Jeff brought it up, but my question to you is, I'm putting my asphalt list together, and I've got that included in that. So you're talking about 450,000 or so, I think it is, we don't know exactly the flex. So you're talking about 100,000 of that going towards chip seal, which I'm fine with. The reason I'm bringing it up now, though, is it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get it done whenever we give them the go-ahead. So the longer we put it off.
So if we do this chip seal out there and you put that in those flex funds, what does it pull?
Well, not the flex funds, but just the road, the asphalt fund.
The road and asphalt money, what does that pull off the table that maybe was planned to do?
$108,000.
I know, but I mean, is there a specific road?
Well, I mean, no, because when I started, I've had this in there, so I mean, I don't know if there's a specific road. I mean, there may be definitely there would have been a road I'd put on there in place of that, but not a specific one I can tell you.
So it's kind of approximately 29,863
Per mile.
Per mile.
per mile. But this road is approximately a mile long?
No, he just gave me an estimate
Oh,
to do a mile of that 14-foot wide.
And you're talking about doing about 3
If
miles
you do
or so.
those completely do Stone and Peart, you're talking about 3 miles. And that is that's an estimate of quantities. So he said he estimated on the high side, he felt like, but
right.
he wanted to make sure.
Do you have other roads that you were thinking about doing paving in the West District?
Yes, I have one on my list that I've looked at that I may pull off because of this. It's not when I give you all the road list, I try to give some in each district. Now, when I look at what's worse. I don't care where it's at.
Right.
But I try to put some in divided up somewhat fairly in each district. And this would take the bulk of the money out of that district. I mean, there may be another one, but for the most part, so. Again, I know the magistrate's not here, and that doesn't matter to me, but I'm just saying the longer we put it off, if you want to wait till next meeting, that's fine, but that's going to kick us back. And if you
Would it be I'm just asking this question, it'd be your recommendation that if we're going to do anything with that road, to do the chip seal?
Yeah, because if you wanted to pave that road, you're talking about $325,000. So your options are, which I'm not going to recommend you pave it at all, but your chip seal would help. If not, we can go whatever the retardant.
Yeah,
Try it, and
but
you're gonna
after you
spend-
do that for a few years.
to do it every year.
You've got the money in it.
So
that-
you're, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been whatever you recommended. You've always made good recommendations, so if this is what you recommend, I'm fine.
I'm just,
But can you use this chip seal to maybe shoulder roads with too, instead of just gravel?
well, I'm sure you could, but I mean, chips, it's a process of, I mean, I'm sure you know how they
Yeah.
go in and prep it and they oil it, rock it and oil it and roll it. So I mean, it's a process. Yes, you can shoulder a road if you have a shoulder prepared for it. I mean, it'd be hard for us to do on some of our shoulders because the drop-offs and the width, there's not a constant width to it.
Okay.
Are you recommending, Bobby, just looking at this quote here, double chip or single chip?
Single's what they recommended to me. He didn't think the double was, for the cost, he said doesn't think it benefits you for what the cost is. He said he would just do the single.
And I don't know, I mean, my thing is, if that's your recommendation on what we need to do to get the roads like we need to get them,
Well,
I mean, the money's budgeted,
it'll be next year's budget.
yeah.
And again, I'll have a full road list ready by next court meeting. My point of all this is the longer you put it off, the further we're back.
Well, if you think if you think it's warranted to do, just put that on your list that you bring us.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
go.
I mean, you want to wait till the next meeting to approve it, or do you want me to?
That's up to you guys.
Don't
I'm
matter.
good
It
with
don't
it.
matter, I mean, we can, I'd be all right to approve it, I mean, because I think Jeff wants,
You want to make a motion to
I'll
approve
make
it?
a motion to approve it.
Scott's got a motion to approve it.
Second.
Got a second by Myron. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you're still on.
All right, final thing.
That's going to end up being two things possibly.
Marty has asked me a couple times, we've talked about blowers with our mowing crews when they're mowing the right-of-ways. I've had a couple discussions last month or two with the state and some other people about that. I'm fine with that. One reason I've been a little hesitant though is because of manpower. Because if you take a 4-man mowing and you have to put 2 men and 2 vehicles with them blowing the roads off because they have to stay with them, that pretty much wipes out my whole workforce for about 3 months out of the year. But if y'all are inclined to, it takes about $5,000 to $6,000 to buy 2 of the blowers. And my suggestion, if we want to do that, if I can find seasonal part-time, maybe retired person, because it basically be just driving the truck behind them. But I would suggest, if we want to do that, I'd suggest that we let that person take their vehicle to wherever they're parked, get in the county truck, and that way I don't tie up another vehicle also, because we already have one at each crew anyway. So you're talking about 75 roughly days a year, $11,000 to $12,000 per employee, and $5,000 or $6,000 for blowers. So, again, we haven't done it in the past. It's a safety issue. If you all want to address that, that would be our route to go. Now, I didn't budget for that, but Nicole can always squeeze some money out of my budget. I do think we can handle it. It's not a.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a bad idea at all, but it begs another question, is if we think that it is a matter of public safety that we try to keep the debris and the grass blowed out of the road, do we, because I don't think we do have now, an ordinance that addresses blowing grass onto the county roads as you're mowing your yard. Now, it's not going to bother a 4-wheel vehicle other than it's just kind of nasty to throw it all up on the trunk of your car, but it can be very dangerous for motorcycle riders to come through that grass laying on the edge of the road, especially if there's any dampness in that grass.
Well, and we have.
Or bicycles.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
So
I've
we
heard
have
about
more
motorcycles.
of the SUV, these all-terrain the gators and those type of things. I'm starting to see a lot of those things on the road now that they're
Yeah.
legal.
So what do we do about the farmers that mows the county roads almost on a weekly basis?
You talking about bush hogging? Because mowing and bush hogging are two separate things.
Yeah, we're
If-
still
If you
getting
know how to
grass on
operate a
the road.
mower, you can keep from blowing it in the road. But if you're bush hogging the side of the road, it's gonna get in the road.
I mean, when I bush hog up down our way, it just, grass gets on the road.
I
I don't know how much, I don't know how many people throw the grass out in the road mowing.
Lawnmowers, probably not very many. Bush hogging, I mean,
No, I'm talking about mowing, like mowing the yard. I know we got one right at the end of the side of the road that does it. Well, one does it, he plows out in the road.
All I'm requesting is asking about my guys covering us. I'm not,
Right.
this other stuff's not me. That's your all's deal.
I like the idea of, having blowers on the truck. And the only thing I'd ask if one of the guys, if we do this and one of the guys, I've seen every now and then that the cutter will drop off in a hole and throw some gravel out on the road, they can stop and sweep that gravel off the road. too,
Well,
they
if
were
we had
doing it.
this employee with them, they could help the guys shuffle the equipment. They could have the blowers. They'd also have something to pick any debris up. That'd be part of it.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
they have to drive the tractor and then they ride back over together to the next
Yeah.
tractor and then they got to bring it back.
Yeah.
And it
They
does
shu-
take
they-
extra
They've got to
time.
the point where they shuffle themselves mostly now.
The state's still contracting roadside mowing, aren't they?
And they have a blower.
And they have a
State
blower.
contracted this year for one pass. What you're
Really?
talking about?
why?
That's what, one pass, and they have a blower with every mower.
Another thing on the safety aspect of it, if you've got a vehicle behind it, that protects somebody, they're kind of blocking the traffic from running up on the tractors too.
Yeah.
So there is another safety aspect to this. So you need a motion for that.
I mean, I'm good with it. It's, here again, it's a question of what does the court want to do?
So would your motion be to hire two part-time? and
I'm
buy
just
two blowers?
asking, that I'm able to hire part-time employees, and we'll put this behind the guys.
Seasonal.
Yes, oh, yeah. Seasonal,
So
as
we're gonna
needed,
make it-
only
we need to-
as needed for mowing.
He needs a motion to hire two seasonal part-time employees and to assist with the blowing,
And buy two blowers.
can you put all that in one motion?
Yeah.
When you're talking about hiring employees who want to buy.
Probably not. There probably needs to be two separate motions. It probably needs to be a motion to authorize hiring two.
Blowers, I can probably just,
You don't need a motion to do that.
I can just cover that through my.
All right.
Okay.
So the motion to hire two part-time seasonal employees for the road, for our public works department.
Yep.
And I'm not going to put a reason why, because he might use them for something else every now.
So you make that a motion?
Yes.
So we got a motion to authorize the hiring of two seasonal part-time employees for the road crew for the purpose of operating a blower.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but I'm kind of like Myron. I mean, there's a lot of farmers that farm their or mow their right-of-ways, but I mean,
I'm not asking to restrict anything they do. I'm just trying to cover us. And I'm fine if you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
But my thing is
I just don't want
if
anybody
something
calling
does
up there,
happen,
talking
at least
to
it's
Mason.
brought
I mean, if you
here.
do,
Get somebody out there, Myron just bush hogged up down the road, can you send somebody out there to mow the grass off?
I'm gonna tell them to call Myron.
They won't have a thing to do with this.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it? I mean, we're wanting to get the grass off the road.
Because this is for the county, this has nothing to do with, this is when the county mows. Has nothing to do with when you mow. Or when
I
anybody
mow
else mows.
up, we all mow up down the county roads out our way. We just do that.
I know, but this is not saying anything about it other than just when the county mows.
Yeah. This is
It's not
just,
saying nothing about anybody else.
Well, we're talking about it being a safety issue, the grass on the roads. I mean, I'm just taking all this here in. I'm just trying to figure out, is it gonna create problems? Is it gonna create problems?
I don't know how it could.
I don't care, Myron.
I don't
I've been
either.
here for 18 years, we've never done this. If you don't want to do it, that's fine with me, save me some money. But I'm just saying, if something was to happen, at least it's been brought to you all.
Yeah, I
So when
understand, Bob.
somebody comes to me, I can say, hey,
I tried to get them to do it, and they said
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
Guess we give it a shot and see.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, we can
we got
do
a
that.
motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
We got a second now. Any other discussion? I might want to take off one day and operate a blower, Bobby.
I may have time next year.
I may just do that too.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Well, it carried unanimously. All right, you're done? All right, if there's no other business, all I need is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty. Second by Scott. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.